Hi, it's Rob L., founder of the Rob L. Academy. I know it's been a rough year, and so I'm all about helping you save time and grow sales easier in this COVID economy. So I'm going to show you some simple building blocks that I use with my consulting practice that's helped a lot of clients, and I hope I can help you as well. So the first one we're going to look at is where's the sales growth in this? So at Starbucks, for example, they've moved away from everybody selling that $5 coffee. They've got everybody thinking long term, like 20 years out. That's each of us is valued at about $17,000 to Starbucks. That's a 3,400 times sales growth. So when you're selling an experience and the front line really understands that, you've got high customer value, which drives your sales growth long term. Now, this is happening at Starbucks, Apple, Disney, and anywhere else that you go and you've been really loyal to for a long period of time. This is the magic formula. Now, this is only as good as your front line. So when you're selling an experience, it's a team sport. And that's why sometimes you go into a place and the first day it's great. You go back there next time it's a disaster. Then it might get better next week. And you're never going to get this working unless you get your whole business system aligned behind that front line and making it easier for them. And that's really what I do with my clients is I help cut through a lot of the complexity and figure out how to make this really simple for that front line. Now here's another building block that we use. This is mapping out your customer journey using Starbucks as an example. So going from that $5 sale to that $17,000 customer lifetime value, every time you go through Starbucks at the end of the experience, you go, am I going to stay loyal or not? And they've really mastered this because many of us have been loyal for a long time. So when you go through an experience, this is above the line and below the line. And Starbucks has trained their team that at any time, if the customer experience is going below the line and the customer's not happy, they can almost sense it. And they've got 30,000 locations, and everybody on that front line is trained to make the moment right. And they actually celebrate that if you find a customer, and sometimes we've had that experience at Starbucks where something's gone wrong. They actually kind of really create empathy, smile at you, dump out that $5 coffee, and they'll make coffees for you all day long until they get it right and put a smile on your face. So that's another building block that's critical that a lot of folks don't have. So where did I learn all this? I've been doing this for about 3 decades now. In my 20s, I got trained by the dean of the Disney University. I was in the theme park business at an 18-acre theme park. And in the theme park business, you had to pivot to weather because we had a theme park in Canada. And so some days we could have 3,000 people in the park. Next day it could pour rain. We could be down to 100. Next day it's 1,500 and so on. And we were selling a highly emotional experience, which we realized early on. And I got so good at it in our own business that I went to work for a couple international consulting companies, and I've worked all over North America. And my last business model was sold in this, it really framed this book called Firing on All Cylinders that sold over 100,000 copies. So you're going to take my 30 years of expertise doing this for many different kinds of companies. And now I've joined forces with Kajabi out of California. It's a new software platform. There's about 40,000 business owners using it now. I use Kajabi to take my framework and get it onto Kajabi and get that out to your entire front line, customized to your business for a one low price. And it's quite interesting how it works. So the first thing I do is we look at your reviews as a team, and I look at your 5-star reviews and your 1-star, and you can very quickly map out what your customers value the most. And the biggest thing that I do for companies is I become your customer. So I put on my customer hat, I start reviewing this with your team, and I start looking at where's the complexity that the front line doesn't understand, and how can we simplify this whole thing. And so that's kind of where it starts. And then we map this whole thing out onto this piece of software, and now we can drive the right down to everybody's smartphone on the front line. So it's called micro learning. And so this is the hottest thing right now when your frontline team needs to learn something about this, right? When that teaching moment is right, they're empowered on their own phones to teach themselves how all this works. And that's really is the magic behind what makes this work. Now I have a 15-point model that really follows these 3 pillars. It's action, alignment, and values. And so the first thing we look at when we get on the phone together is what's your why? And we start to look at where's your pain points in your sales. We start to map out your customer lifetime value, and we really start to see where the long-term return on investment is working with me, because we start to see how many sales you're already losing. And then under alignment, we start to map out, one of the pillars is that customer journey thing that I just showed you with Starbucks. That's under alignment. And then one of the things under core values at your front line is, I go and do this right away, but you can do it yourself. Go ask your frontline team, what mission are we on? Tell me what mission you're on. And usually you get as many different answers to that as many people as you're asking. And so one of the things we did in our theme park was, our mission was to celebrate family fun. So you could write a whole book on that, but if you just had everybody understanding our mission, then when they were in front of our guests, the family, they would start to say, are you adding to that celebration of family fun today, or are you taking away from it? And that one simple thing made a huge difference in the experience that we were delivering. And then the second one is, we need to clarify these core values, which comes out of your reviews. Once I start to really look at your reviews, we can net those out in what are the 4 or 5 core things that customers really value, and we map that into your mission. So I've done this so many times, I can very quickly start to help you map out a mission and core values. And so where the sales growth is in this whole thing, again, is figuring out where's your customer lifetime value, what does that look like? And once we do that, once we start to see how many customers would I have to save you over a long period of time, you can very quickly see the payback on hiring me to consult to your team, and then using Kajabi to map that out really works. So what I want to do is, I want to offer you a free 30-minute call or a Zoom, whatever you prefer. All my clients are unique, so I really like to find out what's your high priorities, where your pain points are, what you're most proud of in your business, and then we start to work together to map out a 30, 60, 90-day plan, how we can work together. And based on your customer lifetime value, how many customers would I have to save you to really start making this work for you long term? And that's really where the value is in so many of my clients. So all you have to do is click on the button below, book a time with me. I look forward to connecting with you personally and getting to know you and what you value most in your customers and your team. And I look forward to seeing you on the other side.